Don't forget to subscribe to Panda Outdoors. Do it now.
Okay, folks, so welcome to this episode of Panda Outdoors and 4x4s. What I'm going to go over is one of my first aid kits. If anyone knows me, I'm big into first aid. I'm level 3 qualified, and the end of the month I'm going on a child one, so baby and small child first aid course. Just because we've got the twins, I thought it'd be a nice to get to know more first aid on children now I've got kids, because obviously they're a little bit different to adults. The smaller, you don't want to hurt them. So I'm big into first aid. I've got a lot of first aid kits. There's one on Land Rover. This is the one from the Land Rover. There's one in my EDC bag. There's one in the car. I keep a small personal first aid kit in my EDC pouch with my knife, my torch, and my lighter. So I think first aid is overlooked a lot. Especially if any of you guys go four-wheel driving, camping, getting off grid a little bit. Go without a simple cut on your finger could turn into something a bit more sinister if you haven't got a first aid kit and a way to clean it. Again, most of the guys who watch my channel or the people who watch my channel, you just go camping, bushcraft, or four-wheel driving, you're messing with saws, axes, sharp implements, stuff like that. If you slip and goes into a leg or something like that, you could potentially not be coming home. So I'm not saying a first aid kit is going to stop that from happening, but it's a little prevention that you can have in your arsenal to maybe get you home safe. So this is just a little first aid kit I've put together. As I say, I'm no medic. I've just been and done a couple of first aid courses, and this is one of the first aid kits I've put together. So starting on the front, as you've just seen, this is a rip-off mollie pouch. So you attach the mollie panel to whatever you want, maybe a backpack. In my case, it's in the vehicle, tactical seat tidy, and it just rips off. It has got a little clip on it that when I'm off-roading, I just clip it on so it stays on. And then when we're around camp or anything like that, I just unclip that so it's quick and easy to rip off. Okay, so on the front, that's just a little pouch, a little patch from Skunkworks Airsoft. One of my friends used to have a shop called the Skunkworks, used to make really cool airsoft gear, and I just keep that patch on there as a little memento to a shop. There is a first aid patch on there as well, if you can just see that, so everyone knows this is a first aid kit. Okay, so moving on, we've got just a normal glow stick. So I think this is a 6-hour glow stick, snap stick, whatever you want to call it, in the front. Just a little bit of light, especially if something's happened in the dark and you want to get found or whatever. Crack that string on it, spin it around, people will spot it, especially if you're in the woods. Or if you're in a vehicle, crack that, throw it behind the vehicle. If it's parked up, just so people know there's a bit of danger. Again, 1,000,001 uses. It's a bit of low level light, so it's not going to hurt the casualty's eyes as well, if you are in a dark place. Okay, so I've got a glow stick. Then I have just a whistle. Okay, so this is just an emergency whistle. It's nice and flat. Got a thin profile, so it just fits in the molly, just there, and it just lives there. It doesn't fall out. Again, if you've got a whistle and you're dealing with a casualty, it's hard sometimes when everything's going on. People are panicking. They're not listening to you. If you blow this whistle really loud, people will stop and pay attention to you. Then you can call people over to get help. So, say, if I've got a casualty bleeding out, I need somebody to apply pressure. I'll blow the whistle, get people over to help me, apply pressure while I'm doing something else. Or while I'm applying pressure, they can be calling an ambulance or something like that for me. So just a good emergency whistle, nothing expensive in your first aid kit. Okay, and then moving on, I have just a black Sharpie pen. Okay, black Sharpie pen. If we've had to apply a tourniquet to somebody, I need to put the time when we've put that tourniquet on. So when the ambulance comes, paramedics get there, they know that tourniquet was applied at, say for instance, 12:15, and then they know when they get to hospital, the hospital's going to ask when was the tourniquet applied. There's the details. Or if I'm getting somebody's name or anything like that, I can write it down on the back of my gloves, my disposable gloves. So just a marker, again, 1,000,001 uses. If something's happened in an emergency as well, you buy your vehicle, write it on your window. It only takes a little bit of acetone to get it off, but again, it's going to stay on there till you remove it, so you know it's on there and you won't forget it. Especially if you have got something happens and you've got to give a witness report or anything like that. At least if you've written it down, it's going nowhere. Okay, and then moving on, I've got just some medical shears. Okay, if you get to a casualty or you get to somebody that's injured or yourself or one of your party and there's blood pouring out of the leg, you can't get the trousers off, at least then you can cut up the seam of the pants or the sleeve of the shirt and look at the potential wound or where they're bleeding from. So just some nice scissors, not an overly expensive. Okay, and then again, I've just got a normal Sharpie. This is just the highlighter Sharpie. And I just put that on there because he had it in the kit, to be fair. But yeah, just a little highlighter Sharpie. Again, if you've had to write an incident report or anything like that, whether it be work or something like that, and something's important or crucial, circle it with the highlighter one. Okay, and then there's just another carabiner on there. That's just on there because I had it in my pack and there was no way for it to go. I clipped it on. But again, carabiners, they do come in really handy. Okay, so moving on to the top of the pouch. Okay, it has a Velcro strip on the top that just keeps it all neat and tidy. So if the zip is open, it doesn't just burst open everywhere. So you flip that over. Again, it's got some nice sturdy zips and it's zips both sides. So it just pulls down and then it's like a clamshell. So it opens up like a clamshell. Okay, so as you can see in the kit, it has just opened up just like a clamshell. And then it has a little flip out part just on the top there. Okay, so I'm just going to go over some things I do keep in this first aid kit. To be honest, I'll probably have to renew a few bits. I've used things, I've taken things out, and I've got to replace them. Normally I do keep an Israeli bandage in this kit, but I think I took it out to show somebody and it never went back in. So what I replaced it was just a first field dressing, similar to an Israeli bandage, but the Israeli bandages are a hell of a lot better. Especially with an Israeli bandage, you seen us, we go clay pigeon, we do mess with axes, we go four-wheel driving. Them Israeli bandages, once they're on and you can ratchet them down really tight, and they do help to stop the bleeding. So they are a good bit of kit. Even if you keep one of them in your car and a tourniquet, any trauma, any car accident you come to, you'll pretty much be able to help preserve somebody's life with one of them. But in this case, it's just got a first field dressing. Does pretty much the same thing. So we've got a first field dressing in this one. Then moving on, I have a pair of gloves, latex gloves, in my tactical car tidy in a pouch next to my first aid kit. So when I pull this off, I'll pull them gloves out instead of having to go in my first aid kit because it's right next to it. But I do keep some more latex gloves in the kit. Again, these have 1,000,001 uses, not just for first aid. If you've got to fix your car or you've got to do any maintenance, you can pop a pair of them on and just replace them. So again, some first aid gloves, some latex gloves. Again, you don't really want to be cross-contaminating. You don't want to get anyone's blood inside you, vice versa. Okay, on the words of cross-contamination, I've just got a normal face covering. So this is when you've got to do some CPR. You pop that into their airway, covers the face, and it's a one-way valve. You can breathe in, they can't breathe out. So you haven't got to worry about any illnesses that they may have or anything like that, or them vomiting and thrown back up into your mouth. So one of them, you can buy these on Amazon for like £5, I think, for like 10. I've got one in my wallet, I've got one in my little EDC pouch, I've got one in my backpack, and there's some in it, all the first aid kit. So nice little bit of kit to keep hold of. This is a bigger one, this kit. The other one's a little bit smaller and low profile. Okay, so then moving on, I've just got an emergency poncho. So if it's raining or anything like that, I want to keep, not really worried about myself, more if I need to keep the casualty dry. I can put them in a Mylar blanket and then throw one of these over and it'll keep them dry out the rain. Or if there's a big emergency, you're helping a lot of people, you need to stay dry, pop this on. More than likely, this will be for the casualty because I don't think they do Jackamosas emergency ponchos, if I'm being honest. But just a nice bit of kit to add to keep the casualty dry. Okay, and then we've just got some cool and soothing burn gels, stuff like that in there. So some nice cool and soothing burn gels. Again, you see us, we're messing with fires when we're out camping. Always have some burn stuff with you. Just a small pack of antibacterial wipes. These are good for cleaning a wound, cleaning yourself up, anything like that. And this day and age with COVID, antibacterial wipes, they don't have come in handy. So they're in the first aid kit. So then moving on, I've just got a little pouch of plasters, okay? I don't like the plasters you buy from the shop that come like this. Okay, I don't like these plasters. They kind of fail. I prefer the old school like material, felt or whatever you want to call it, where you've got to cut your own plasters. I think they last longer and a lot more durable. So especially being an outdoorsman like myself, the other ones tend to come off. So I normally buy the strips of these, but I just keep these little plasters in for if anyone gets a cut or anything like that. A little ouchie. I can do that. And also, especially working in the security industry of a weekend, you get a lot of women coming up to you asking for a plaster because the shoes are rubbing. So I'm not going to give them one of my good ones. I'll just give them one of them ones. Okay, so they're plasters and stuff like that covered. Again, just some normal little tissues. These are out of a ration pack. Use them for toilet paper, use them for cleaning up. You can, if you've run out of plasters, someone's cut the finger, wrap that around it and tape it up. Got like a makeshift bandage with them. Okay, you just keep a little first aid, Doctor's ABC in there as well. Always handy to have, especially in an emergency. If you're not used to being in an emergency or a crisis, sometimes your brain can have a little brain freeze, so it's good to have a little bit of information that you can just fall back on. Okay, so moving on. We've got some normal saline solution, okay, for cleaning eyes, cleaning stuff. Self-explanatory. Some Germaline, again, some antibacterial, antiseptic cream. You've cut your finger, stuff like that. You've cleaned it up. Pop a bit of that on. It's just normal antiseptic cream. Okay, and then we've got like an assortment of wipes, steady wipes, stuff like that. Just there, again, just normal hand sanitizer stuff. Again, we have got some cotton wool buds, but I think these are going to need replacing because the packets got damaged, so they can go in the bin. Okay, they wear cotton wool buds, they can go in the bin. They're all dirty. But yeah, so again, we have just some wipes and stuff like that. As I say, they've been damaged in the pack, the cotton wool buds, so they can go in the bin, and I'll replace them for a new set. Okay, so moving on, some medical tape. Again, like I was saying, with that and that, you could fix somebody's finger or something like that, just until you got a proper bandage. Then moving to the back. Oh no, I was lying. We do have an Israeli bandage just in the back as well. That should really be in the front of the pouch. We've got an Israeli bandage in there. So with the first field dressing and the Israeli bandage, any trauma, you're pretty much covered. And then we've just got a normal cat C tourniquet. Okay, so you apply this, twist it down, lock it off. As soon as you see the blood stop, lock it off, and then write on them. Most people will say write it on the forehead what time the tourniquet was applied. Okay, so then moving on to the other side, got triangle bandages. People in the first aid community swear by triangle bandages. You can do a lot with them. Make slings, patch people up. Triangle bandages, always keep one of these in your kit. Okay, they're very universal. Yeah, universal, can be used for anything. Okay, you just got some normal cotton buds, again, for cleaning wounds and stuff like that. Little crate bandage. And then we've got a cool pack, so that's one of them packs that you crack and it goes cool. Somebody had to bang on the head, got a lump, bang. That can go straight on, cool down. Or you've got a burn, cool it down. Okay, we've got, again, just some normal pads for taping up wounds and stuff like that. Just a nice assortment of them. We've got actually blister relief in there as well. So obviously when I'm out and about, even though I'm a big lad, I still get out and do some walking and stuff like that. Boots are killing, pop them on. And then we've got a foil blanket. Like I was saying before, if you've got a casualty that's cold and you want to keep them warm on a bad day, wrap them in that, pop the poncho on them. They're not getting wet and they're getting warm in the process. Okay, and then just in this pouch, we just got some medication. Ibuprofen, some safety pins, paracetamol, diarrhea relief, and yeah, diarrhea relief, paracetamol, and hay fever tablets. Okay, so just some basic stuff, allergy tablets to keep you going. And then we've got some medical tweezers. Sorry, couldn't think of the name. So some medical tweezers. So what I'd do with them is I'd be sterilising them as best you can. Antibacterial, wipe them down. If you've got to pull a metal shard out or anything like that, or a splinter out of yourself, I'd be trying to sterilise them first before you go at it. Or if you've got some boiling hot, if you're at your camp and you've got to do it, boil a bit of water and stick to them. So that's been my first aid kit that I keep in the 4x4. As you can see on this video, always check over your first aid kit. I've got a bit of damaged kit there that I do have to replace. So always check your first aid kits. That's why I've done this video. I was getting it out to give it a check and make sure your kit's up to date and you know how to use it. There's no point having kit with you that you don't know how to use or you're unsure how to use. So I haven't got nothing to put airways into people because I've not trained on it and I don't know what I'm doing. You could potentially hurt somebody. So the kit you carry, make sure you know how to use it and you've had a little bit of basic first aid training. Even if it's just a little 1 day free course or an hour free course somewhere. Just go and do a little bit of first aid training. Because I think 4-wheel driving, camping, anything like that, off-grid stuff, you want to be a little bit more self-sufficient and you want to be able to deal with a casualty till you can get them the proper medical help you need. And again, in any situation like a first aid situation, don't panic. That's the worst thing you can do is panic. Take a minute and then assess the situation and deal with it, because the last thing you need is you to become a casualty. So when you walk into a situation, stop and assess. Have a look around, make sure there's no danger to yourself before you then go over and help the casualty. Because there's nothing worse than running into a situation. Say, for instance, you went in a room, there was an electrician on a ladder, the electrician's on the floor, and the ladder's toppled over. You've ran straight over to him, you haven't realised he's got hold of a live wire, bang, you've then been electrocuted, you're now a casualty. So look at the situation. If that's the case, you want to cut off the power, fuse board, electric off, then you can go and help the person that's injured. I've been Panda. Thanks for watching this video on my first aid kit that I keep in my vehicle. Again, I think more people should post the first aid kits and where they keep them. I remember Rich from Bug Out Vehicles doing one of these videos a long time ago, and he was right in what he said. He was like, tag me in it if you do one of these videos. And he showed you where he kept his first aid kit in the vehicle. Because if he was at a show or a camp and something happened and he was dealing with a casualty, at least somebody then could go to his vehicle and get the first aid kit out. So anybody that's done has got a first aid kit, who watches my channel, you got your own channel, please post a video and tag me in it on what you keep in your first aid kit. So this is my UK prepping / 4x4 side of things. But again, I hope you're enjoying these videos and I'll keep making them. I'm over the moon with all the support I get off everybody, and especially local support. I didn't realise so many people in my area actually watch the videos. So thanks for all the support. And I'll keep bringing content out. Hopefully, I'm going to be doing a solo stealth camp in the van next week, I think, or the week after. And I'll be at the 4x4 Expo. So if anyone's at the 4x4 Expo, come along, say hello. Should have some stickers with me, hopefully. I'll have some stickers with me and other bits and bobs. So if anyone comes over and says hello, it'll be great. And if you see me, if you see any of the trucks that we've got, I don't know what we're going in, to be honest, but if you see any of the trucks that we're going in, pop over, say hello. And hopefully some of the Northwest 4x4 lads will be there as well. Okay, so I've been Panda. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you outdoors sometime. Take care and stay prepared. Bye-bye now.